Welcome back to the Bourbon Note, everybody. I'm Ben, and I've got perhaps the best budget bourbon banger on the bar. Let's get into it. All right, so tonight on the bar, I've got, bam, Old Forester 100 proof. So sometimes you just have to do the classics. I know, reviewing bourbons, it's fun to like explore new brands and, all the different variations and stuff on the shelf. Sometimes you just got to go back to a classic that you really love. I've never actually done a review of this. I think when Greg was on the channel, we never actually did a proper review of this, and it's one of my favorites. I recently just filmed a kind of like a top 5 budget bourbons video, recently meaning 5 minutes ago in my time. And I kind of cited this one as sort of king ding-a-ling. I mean, not sort of, I actually called it king ding-a-ling of the list because I think of the available bourbons, budget bourbons, sub $30 bottles, this one is pretty tough to beat. If you watch this channel a lot, and if you watched that video, you'll know that I am a huge fan of Early Times Bottled in Bond, which is also a Brown-Forman product at 100 proof. I can't get that in Minnesota. I'm not going to get too much into the black cap versus blue cap. I've got a video on that you can check out. But there is a new version and an old version if you didn't know. I think this is a pretty good replacement for that. Since I can't get Early Times Bottled in Bond, Old Forester 100 is a good, sort of a close second, I would say. So let's get into the nose here. Classic Brown-Forman nose. Brown-Forman is kind of known for having like a banana note to it. Old Forester, by the way, falls under the Brown-Forman umbrella. This does, and Old Forester products in general do, but it's more like a banana candy, like banana runts or something like that, which in real life, outside of bourbon, I'm not a fan of, and the candy, and even more so, I hate bananas. I think it's like the worst flavor on planet Earth. But for some reason, when it's lightly balanced in a bourbon amongst like molasses and brown sugar, and almost like a banana bread sort of flavor, I like it. Also a little bit of cherry on here. I always get a little bit of cherry on Brown-Forman, or I should say Old Forester products. I don't want to conflate all Brown-Forman products with Old Forester. Anyway, enough rambling, let's get into the taste. Cheers. Yeah, that's just great. I think this is a great utility bourbon. Like, you can do anything with it. You can sip it neat, 100 proof, it'll hold up to a cocktail, it'll hold up to ice. But on the palate, it's got a really, really nice sweetness to it. That light banana comes through, the little bit of cherry comes through. Kind of everything that's on the nose is right there on the palate. It's kind of one of those bourbons. But there's that nice, rich molasses sort of note with some nice brown sugar. It doesn't really have like the standard caramel and vanilla that you get on almost all bourbons. I mean, it's there, but it's not like those notes don't really stand out on their own. They're just kind of blended in with a nice sweetness. But there's a great oak note to this one as well. I don't know what the age is on this. I know that Old Forester uses heat-cycled warehouses, so that helps it age a little quicker. But yeah, I mean, this is fairly complex for being such a budget pour. I mean, you can get this for 22 to 25 bucks in Minnesota for a 750. Let's have another sip. On that second sip, all those flavors just amplified. This is my first sip of bourbon of the day. So sometimes that first one, as good as it was, doesn't always really kind of showcase the bourbon. So yeah, on that second sip, this thing has just got so many good flavors. It's got tons of that baking spice. Again, the molasses. On the finish, there's kind of that nice cherry note with like some oak and brown sugar. There's a spice to it, but it's not like a peppery spice. I think it's a combination of kind of that oak note, like an oak spice, and char with that 100 proof. I think those kind of mix together and give it just the right amount of bite. But this thing's fantastic. I can't recommend this enough. If you're looking for a good budget pour and you haven't had this one yet, definitely worth a shot. If you're new to bourbon and you're just kind of getting up to that 100 proof point, definitely worth a shot. And if you like other Old Forester products and you haven't tried this one, just because it is kind of the, you know, this one and the 86 are like the lower tier ones, pick one of these up, because I think that this one competes with their bottled and bond all day long. They've got the bottle and bond for double the price of this. I think a long time ago, Greg and I did a comparison between the two, and I think it was a pretty close call. So yeah, I just can't recommend this enough. Let's have one more sip. So I don't make a ton of whiskey cocktails, but I think that this would work in any of them. This thing, like, I don't like to use expensive bourbons in cocktails. I like to use really good, inexpensive bourbons, and this is a really good, inexpensive bourbon. I've never made an old fashioned out of this, but I think it would make a killer old fashioned, so I'm definitely gonna try that. But yeah, as I said before, I think this can work for anything. It's awesome neat. It would definitely hold up to some ice. It'll definitely hold up to a cocktail. You can really do anything with it. So yeah, if you haven't tried this just because of the budget kind of level that it's on, definitely give it a shot. So, all right, well, hey, thanks for watching, you guys. This has been Old Forester 100 proof on the Bourbon Note. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one.